Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. You are with Nomads Without Limits.
This is how it feels when you living that good life. I'm just living that good life. I'm just living that good life. I'm just living that good life.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. You are with Nomads Without Limits. And before we go any further, go ahead and subscribe. We thank you very much. Today I have the legend, Mr. Eddie Delahouse.
Yeah.
Mr. Eddie Delahouse. He's a retired firefighter with Miami Dade Fire Rescue. And I've heard so much about this young man. He is amazing. I've heard some stories about he's off the grid. He would not ride, doesn't own a car. He would ride his bike to work to every station. So let me introduce you to Mr. Eddie. Mr. Eddie, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
So how long have you been retired?
Since 2008.
2008. So was it your dream to live on a boat, to own a boat? How did you get here?
I went sailing with a guy named Freddie Figueredo.
Okay.
And ever since then, I wanted to live on a boat just because we sailed around for, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Okay.
Him and his wife, Lisa Costin, and I and two other couples sailed from the Abacos for 4 weeks with a boat, and that was what flipped the switch in the late 80s.
Okay. So
I think it was 1987 or 88.
You and I connected on Facebook or Instagram, and you are like so adventurous. I see you. Is it paragliding?
Yeah.
Okay, you're paragliding, and I'm thinking
Hang glider.
with a motor.
Airplane. No, hang glider without a motor.
Without a motor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And an airplane with a motor.
Okay. How did you get into that?
In 1986, after paramedic school, I had this really wild experience one day, April 18th. And while I was sitting in the living room, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is really strange. And I called my girlfriend to come over. She came over and she took me to a bookstore, and I saw a picture of Rob Kells. He's a famous hang glider pilot. He was 5,000 feet over Mount Whitney, which is 14,000 feet, 495. So that means he's almost 20,000 feet. And the picture that he was taking was of him looking straight down on Mount Whitney. And it was like, I gotta do that.
So from there, you took classes.
Yeah. I drove up to Lookout Mountain, Georgia.
Okay.
And they have a place called Lookout Mountain Flight Park. And that's where I learned to hang glide on August 10th of that year. I started.
Okay. So you made it to retirement.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you just can't sit still.
Yeah. Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who's about to retire, or maybe 5 years from retirement?
Practice.
Practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Okay. So you just don't wake up and say, I'm retired now.
Correct.
Okay. What started your adventurous life? Are you a hiker?
The Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
How old were you?
12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. And my first skill award was first aid. That's a very easy, first aid award.
Okay.
That goes on your belt. It used to go on your belt. I don't know if it still does.
All right.
And my first merit badge at the time was first aid. I didn't get a lot of merit badges, but I was in from age 12 until they kicked me out at age 21 because I was not a lot too old.
Too old, yeah.
Right.
Got to join the, go join the Army.
And then the very next year, I got on the fire department.
Wow. Okay. So Was that the best job you've ever had?
No.
No?
I had a job as an apprentice for an inventor. And the only bad thing about that job is that I only got paid once every 3 to 4 months. So, that was the biggest challenge. But beyond that, it was so much fun. I could stay there, for 16, 20 hours. And all I did was build models and draw pictures.
Okay.
Drafting. Just trying to make his ideas come true. The Sam Coffin with International Resources Management Incorporated. That was the most fun job. I mean, I got to go when I wanted. I stayed late because I was excited about what we were doing. It was just building models and drawing pictures. And then I actually got to build a solar water evaporator on the roof of Michigan Drill in 1981. It might have been 82.
Okay.
And that was awesome. But the fire department was definitely the next funnest. Yeah.
Now you're in your 60s.
Yes.
And you don't look to be in your 60s.
You're just flattering me.
No,
we're
seriously,
friends.
seriously. You're active, and I just think that being active keeps you young.
Yes.
Keeps you vibrant.
Yes,
keeps you full of life.
Absolutely.
So I tell everyone, just don't sit there. You got to get busy and do some things.
I just bought 2 electric unicycles.
Unicycle, that's one
Right,
wheel.
one wheel.
One wheel, okay.
Right. And she's a one wheel already expert.
Okay.
That's like sideways skateboard with one wheel. It's a skateboard with one wheel.
Okay.
The unicycle is facing forward.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's much better for low speed, the one wheel.
Have you jumped on it? Come on in, show your face.
I have.
Now this is Miss Angela. Say hello.
Hi there.
So you're used to one wheel now?
So I can one wheel,
Okay.
and I'm learning to unicycle. It's a different balance
Right.
altogether.
It's faster, but slow speed maneuvering is not easy. It's very challenging. On the one wheel, slow speed is much more easy.
Okay.
I mean, super slow speed, like half a mile an hour.
Now I've heard about your two-wheel adventures. I've heard about you taking overtime and driving your bike because you didn't own a car.
I haven't. I still don't own a car.
How long has it been?
I mean, I own a bus, a short bus.
Okay. How long has it been since you've had a car?
1989.
What made you stop driving a car?
I'm a little embarrassed about it, but I was riding home from Station 29,
Okay.
and this kid rode past me in a Mustang on the sidewalk,
Okay.
and he stopped in front of me, pulled in front of me and stopped, and I got into the car and I pulled him out of the car.
Wow.
So that was the main reason.
Okay.
And no matter which way I went, it always took me 30 minutes to get home.
Okay.
The first time I rode my bike, it took me 30 minutes to get home. By the end of the month, I was making it home in 20 minutes. So I was saving time
Right.
as well as getting in shape.
Okay. So I've heard the stories about you taking overtime, driving from Homestead to Carroll City, which is now Miami Gardens.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you drive? How many miles is
I
it?
was in really good shape. It's around 47 miles, and I mean, if I know that I'm doing it, I was in really good shape. I was during the boot drive when we did the muscular dystrophy pedal on the what do you call it,
A stationary bike?
It's a stationary bike but with arms.
Okay.
We had a challenge, and I told the guys at the station, I go, listen, whatever you guys put on this odometer on the 3 shifts, I will put it on my shift.
By yourself?
By myself.
Okay.
So, I mean, I was in really good shape riding from here out to Station 37 in the morning
Okay.
for work, for a shift, for a
Right.
24-hour shift with Pat O'Brien and Mark Huffdale.
Okay.
It was awesome. And then it was a busy night station. So
from there, you started riding your bike.
yeah.
Okay, and I've heard the stories about you've been hit by cars several times.
Yes. Well, I've been hundreds of times, but the only time, the part that I'm infamous for, was leaving here Sunday morning at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And there's a bike path on Key Biscayne.
Right.
And they hit me. They came onto the bike path and hit me. And
Wow.
left me with my bunker gear in the center lane of I had my bunker gear
Yeah.
riding back,
So it was a hit and run.
hit and run.
Wow.
They found the bumper that fit into the crease on my wheel in the roads with the ID number scraped off.
Wow.
That was in 99.
Wow. And that didn't scare you from riding your bike?
I wasn't. I mean, I get hit. I got hit a lot.
Okay.
I just didn't have any. I didn't have unconsciousness, and I was only a 14 on the Glasgow coma scare, so I wasn't really. But when they asked me what my job was, I told them I was a porn star. Even though I had my bunker gear. When the cop asked me, so that's why they took me to unconscious.
Okay.
I was
I figured you had some
confused.
head
I was
damage, some
confused.
brain damage. Yeah.
I did. I had basilar skull fracture and a frontal subarachnoid hemorrhage.
Wow. Wow. You're lucky to be here.
Yes.
Okay. So do you still ride your bike now?
I do, but I have an electric bike
Okay.
that'll do 28 miles an hour, because we're in Florida and we're lucky to have a class 3 rating is allowed on the streets in Florida.
Okay.
So it's awesome.
Got it.
And I ride electric unicycle, and I have folding bicycles to put in the airplane.
Okay.
I have a lot of bicycles.
Okay. So you mentioned airplane.
Yeah.
You also fly planes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have almost 1,000 hours in retractable high-performance aircraft
Okay.
that I've owned since 1993. It's a 6-seater, 200 mile an hour Bonanza.
So what made you want to fly a plane?
Because it took so long to get to Lookout Mountain Flight Park in Northwest Georgia. 11 to 16 hours driving.
Okay.
And in the airplane, I can get there in 3.5 from Miami.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. So I don't know what to say. You're a retired firefighter.
We're Nomad brothers.
Yes, we're Nomad brothers.
Firefighter brothers.
And you have a Nomad sister here
And
now.
she's a Nomad, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
From
she's been-
Utah.
From Utah, she's been across the Pacific
Okay.
to the South Pacific island of Roatonga,
Okay.
from Seattle
Wow.
in a 32-foot Irwin.
So you know how to sail. You know how to just do everything and get us from point A to point B.
She's
I know
she's a
enough
good
to
crew
be
member.
Got
humble about the ocean. There's always something to fix and always something to do and always something to pay attention to.
Now, what's been your most exciting adventure in your entire life?
So far, it's been Mr. De La House.
Oh, I love it. So you guys have like similar energy, and I love it. You guys are flowing. You flow so well together, and I'm thinking, man, you guys are just made for one another. So I see each other.
We were gonna take a cruise, and I think it was. Do you remember the date? It was out of Seattle to Alaska.
Okay.
It had iFly on it, and
Now, what's iFly?
iFly is indoor skydiving,
Okay.
and the artificial wave for riding a wave.
Okay.
And the morning of it, we had to get COVID tested, and we had COVID. But that didn't stop us. I had my tandem paraglider with me, so we hiked up to the Tiger Mountain, Poo-Poo Point, which is the hang gliding area there. Social distancing with masks on. Hiked up. It's a 2,000 foot hike to launch from the car. Hiked up to launch, and then waited for 30 or 40, beginner pilots. The three oldest pilots, two other guys and myself, waited till the very end of the day, and we got the three best flights, and Angela and I got the best flight. We left, gained 2,000 feet from launch, and we stayed in the air for 2 hours, for an hour till sun went down. It was amazing.
Okay, how do you stay in the air that long?
It's just the wind hitting the mountain and the sun. What kept us up that flight was the sun hitting the side of the hill and creating hot air that floated up, and we just stayed in the thermal air going up.
So how do you find the thermal air? I've always wondered about that.
It's just.
You have a little tool on your helmet called a vario.
Well, that helps.
And when you go up, it has a noise that alerts you. So it goes.
It's a vertical speed indicator.
Ah, okay. So the warmer air is faster?
It goes up.
Okay.
So you're changing vertical speed from still or down, which down is the normal.
Okay.
I'm going down at 180 feet a minute normally. If I'm going up, if I go up 2 foot a minute, it goes beep, beep, beep. If I go up 3 foot a minute, beep, beep, beep. For 50 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet, 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet a minute.
Okay.
At 2,000 feet, it's just beep. It's awesome.
So what's the highest you've been, altitude-wise?
Almost 19,000 feet, 18,697.
How do you handle that? Do you get lightheaded?
I was a little tunnel vision. I didn't feel hypoxic.
Okay.
But I had to have an oxygen saturation meter on my carabiner, and I tested it, and I was at 89% saturation, and that's quite a bit below medically good.
When do you pass out?
95.
At what point do you pass out?
I didn't
80,
feel.
70?
I knew that I needed to leave
Okay.
the thermal at that time. I could have continued up. There's a YouTube video. But I knew that I needed to leave the thermal because I was starting to get cold, and the reading on the saturation meter, I was like, okay, I'm going to leave the thermal. I left, and all of a sudden I got really cold because the air in the thermal is warmer, only 4 degrees, but that difference is what made me go up so fast. Was the 4 degree difference. Now I'm 4 degree colder and searching for air to get low.
Got it.
And everything around the thermal is going down.
Okay, I understand.
Where air goes up, there must be air going down.
Right.
So everything around it is going down, so I just stayed in the down air.
Okay, so the thermal pockets, is that where the airplane
forms
hits
clouds.
The turbulence?
Yes.
That's the turbulence?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
But there's other things that cause turbulence.
Okay.
Wind shear, that's different directions of wind
Got it.
at different altitudes. Tip vortices, that's the vortices coming off of the wingtip of an airplane. That'll cause turbulence.
Okay.
The bigger the aircraft, the bigger the vortices.
Okay.
Some aircrafts are dirtier than others as far as making big wingtips. Like the 757 was the dirtiest, so that it could land in really short fields.
So when you say dirty, you mean
most turbulence.
Okay.
The vortices were very big on it.
So, but you have a YouTube channel.
I do.
What's it called?
Crazy Cuban Firefighter.
Crazy Cuban Firefighter.
Right.
So if anyone wants to contact you,
yeah, they can reach me through there.
Okay, you're on Instagram?
Or through you.
Okay, through me.
Yeah.
Now you're on Instagram as Eddie De La House?
No, Crazy Cuban Firefighter.
Crazy Cuban Firefighter. So you got that Crazy Cuban Firefighter. Reach out to Eddie. All right. What's your next adventure coming?
Burning Man.
Burning Man. Now where's Burning Man?
It's in the northern Nevada desert of Black Rock.
Okay. That's pretty hot out there.
Yeah, it's hot and cold during the night. It gets down into the 30s at night.
So what exactly is Burning Man?
It's a community.
Okay.
You know, very unusual, very different than you expect. It's never, in the 7 times that I've only been to Burning Man, the full Burning Man, 4 times. But in the 4 times that I've been, it's never been the same. And I've been to the Love Burn here 3 times.
Got it.
And it's never been the same here on Virginia Key.
Okay. First time I ever heard about Burning Man was watching Lillian Sampier. Thank you. You taught me about Burning Man. And I saw her post on Burning Man. I'm thinking, man, this is some serious fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what's the most exciting thing about Burning Man? Is it a spiritual journey somewhat?
No, I mean, not for me so much. I mean, I love volunteering.
Okay.
You know, I volunteer at the airport, air traffic control, because I have experience. And I'm a retired crash fire rescue firefighter, hazmat. So, you know, volunteering at the airport out there is phenomenal, super fun, and everybody around is serious and interested in doing things, you know, fun.
Right.
So I really enjoy it. And it's 100% commuting via bicycle. You know, a lot of people walk, but 99% ride bike.
Wow. What's the speed limit?
5 miles an hour.
So you can't go over 5 miles per hour.
Right.
Okay.
So, and the penalty for going 5 miles an hour is that you get frisked. You get checked.
Okay. How long does Burning Man last?
It's a week long, but there's a crew there a month before to set it up. The electricity, you know, the roads, the signs, and there's a crew there for a month afterwards. And the last week is just making sure that there's no sign that anything was there. And they do that for 130 miles, even though Burning Man's only 20 miles in diameter.
Okay.
It's 130 miles that they check, that they look for. It's a big crew, and everybody's volunteer.
So, Miss Angela,
Money doesn't exchange.
what's your best memory of Burning Man?
You know, I think the nostalgia combined with knowing that it won't be the same. So feeling like there's people that you connect with and that you know, but you have not met yet. You know, incredible artists and incredible musicians, and the opportunity to contribute, to make it cool.
All right.
Everybody's there to make it cool. It's
So, do you meet lifetime friends there
yeah.
that you're still in touch with now?
You go through this experience together, and forever you'll like have been at Burning Man together.
Yeah, the camp is definitely a lifetime friend.
Got it.
People in the camp.
So, if I wanted to go, how would I start? How do I
You have to
train for it?
You have to make a profile.
Okay.
The hardest thing is getting a ticket. That is by far the hardest thing.
I think you have to like set up in your mind that you're going to go and come up with how you're going to contribute,
Okay.
Right.
and then start your networking and get your gear together, plan the adventure.
Yeah, I mean, the first year I was severely unprepared. It was way tougher than I thought.
Okay.
And, you know, each year it's gotten easier, although 17 was harder than the first year,
Okay.
as far as comfort.
Now, comfort, like, where do you sleep?
I have, the first 3 years I slept in a minivan.
Okay.
Most of our camp sleeps in a tent. And we have a tarp that goes over the tents.
Okay.
The last year I went in a mobile home, that I was the least comfortable in the mobile home because it's so much work to clean it. There's no way to keep the dust from going in. There's no, it's too tall. So the winds get very strong there, and it rocks. But even though it was the most uncomfortable, the last year was my favorite.
Got it.
I had the most volunteering. I had a tandem bicycle.
Okay.
I went with a really good partner at the time, and it was just, much better.
Got it. All right. Well, if you need more information on Burning Man, this is the young man to talk to, Mr. Eddie Delahaas. Well, Eddie, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
I appreciate you having me out here. I'm enjoying the boat life, and I may not want to go home tonight, okay? I'm going to spend the night here, okay?
That's good. That's good. We have room for it.
Thank you, sir. All right. Appreciate everything. All right. All right, Nomads. Take care, and good night.
I'm just living that good life. I'm just living that good life. Good